Welcome back to the Distressed Princess. Today I'm going to do something a little different because today is my sweet sister's birthday and I'm going to make her a homemade present. We are kids of the 80s, and if you don't know what this is all about, it's from the movie Top Gun and it's awesome. So I designed this myself in Cricut Design Space, and I will share it on my Facebook. I will link in my description box below, but it's very important to mirror the image when you bring this up in Cricut. Mirror the image before you hit continue to make it. You'll set your material dial to paper and then load the A slot with an infusible black ink pen. You'll need a light grip mat and a piece of laser copy paper. And then you can load your mat and hit go. It only takes a couple minutes for it to draw and then unload your mat. The best way to get the paper off of the mat is to turn it over and peel the mat away from the paper. If you try to do it the other way, your paper is likely to rip, and if you're very, very careful, there's less likelihood that that will happen, and your paper is less likely to curl up on you. I really love this design. It really puts me in the mindset of the 80s, and what we do now is some coloring, and I'm using the Cricut infusible ink markers to color this design. And every single time that I color anything, I think of my sister, because when I was little, my sister was so good to me. She's older than me. She was a great older sister, and she would color with me all the time. She taught me how to color really, really good. And she never treated me like a bratty little kid sister, even though I'm positive that I was bratty at times. But anyhow, just a little story there. I always think of her when I'm coloring. You'll notice that I layered some colors in the sunglasses and just stripes of different colors. I thought that gave it a really neat effect. Now we get our Easy Press ready to transfer the image onto the t-shirt. And if you go to Google Cricut Heat Guide, it will bring up this page that you put in what materials you're using and which Easy Press you're using, and it will tell you exactly what supplies you need, how to prep your material, and how long and how hot your Easy Press should be on. Now to get our Easy Press ready, just power it on, and we want the temperature to be 385. And we're going to hold it for 40 seconds. The timer is going to be at 40 seconds. And you have your plus and minus to go up and down on the temperature and the timer. And then the Cricut that's red right now will turn green when it's done heating. And it will also beep when it's done heating. Now the shirt that I'm using is a Gildan shirt. And they say that it is important for the infusible ink to have a high polyester count. Well, this is 50% polyester and 50% cotton. And I'm not sure if the infusible ink would take to 100% cotton or not, which I prefer not to have 100% cotton anyway, because you know how that shrinks. So I did this t-shirt, and it's a magenta color, even though it looks red in this video. It's a really pretty magenta color. The next step is to take a piece of cardstock and put it inside the t-shirt so that the infusible ink won't bleed through onto the back side. And since the piece of cardstock is exactly the same size as the sheet of paper that I'm using my transfer on. I'm just imagining positioning my transfer as I'm putting this cardstock inside. And you want to be at least a couple inches, I think they say 3 inches from the collar when you're doing transfers. Then you need to lint roll the area very well because you don't want to have any little particles or hairs on your material. Next, you'll need to get your butcher paper ready, and you'll also need to get your heat resistant tape ready. And I use the Cricut brand heat resistant tape, and I cut off 4 pieces. Now you will preheat your material, holding it on for 15 seconds. And because my image is actually bigger than what the Easy Press is, I moved it 3 times to cover the whole area that I will be transferring onto. And this is to remove any wrinkles and moisture. And now it's time to put your image ink side down and use your heat resistant tape to tape it in place. It's very important that the image doesn't move. And so that's why I'm using 4 pieces of tape. I did a piece in each corner. Then cover the image with your butcher paper and put your heat press straight down. It says light pressure, and if you hit the little Cricut button on the heat press, then it will start the countdown, and it's for 40 seconds. You can see on the Tea and Talk and the last part of Goose, that was not covered by the Easy Press, so I go to each side where it wasn't covered before and I press again for another 40 seconds. And then lift the Easy Press up and take the butcher paper off. And in the instructions, it'll tell you if it's a warm peel or a cool peel. And in this case, it's a warm peel. So I very, very carefully peeled back one corner to see if it had transferred, and it did. So I peeled the whole thing off. You could stop right here, or if this was on a white t-shirt, it would be really, really pretty too, but I wanted something different. I'm taking my t-shirt outside, or my sister's t-shirt outside, and I'm going to bleach it. And I put wax paper inside the shirt so that the bleach does not go through to the back. I only wanted it on the front. This is a squirt bottle I got from the Dollar Tree, and it is with straight bleach on the spray setting, not stream, but spray. And then I decided to go back and put it on the stream setting and do a little extra bleaching around. Another tip is to have some things handy if it's windy outside, because you don't want your shirt blowing up on itself. So I have glass milk bottles setting on each sleeve and at the top and at the bottom to keep everything held down while I'm doing this bleaching. Another tip would be to go light at first and add more if you feel like you need to add more later, because you can always add more bleach, but you can't take away stuff you've already bleached, of course. The longer that it stays outside in the sun, the more it's going to bleach out. And I left mine out for about 30 minutes, and this was the result. It didn't have a lot of bright white. It just bleached into a really pretty pink. And that's all there is to it. Happy birthday to my sister, and thanks everyone for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you liked this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.